Hey there everybody, Dreamer here, and today we are going to be playing a visual novel game called Bottom of the Well. I saw this on Steam and it looks really interesting. We'll be playing a girl named Alice as she goes through her adventure. So yeah, let's go ahead and get started. Welcome to Bottom of the Well. This game is a visual novel, meaning it is a mainly text-based piece of interactive fiction, a book where you get to decide what happens next. Most of the gameplay consists of picking your choice from a selection of options, which will further the story. Bottom of the Well does have some gameplay aside from multiple choice though, the most important of which is the kind of Alice, our protagonist, you are going to play. For your first playthrough, we recommend you use default Alice, but the customization is there to be used. Even if you complete the game, a different Alice might have a very different experience. If nothing else, you might just find a new way to die. Okay. Thank you for playing our game, Red Nettle Studio. Interesting. I think Dark Alice. Let's Oh, it says that we should do the default Alice, but because it's our first playthrough. But oh, I really want to do the Dark Alice. This is where we're gonna get started. Today I had the weirdest dream of my Today I had the weirdest dream in my life. I'm waiting for Joe. I was reading that. Morning, A. Morning. Did you catch the anniversary reading last night? No. Well, I tried, but I fell asleep. Listen, about that. You fell asleep? Oh, come on, Alice. In Wonderland is like... Oh, come on. Yeah. You fell asleep? Oh, come on. Alice in Wonderland is like our favorite... Let me finish. Something happened. I was tuning in on my radio. You are such a Luddite? Amazing, I can even catch you online. Shut up, I'm not a Luddite. I just like analog things. Anyways, I was tuning in to the broadcast and I must have hit the AM switch or something because suddenly the channel changed to something else. What? Aliens? Oh, government-run numbers station. No, it was this weird, like, white noise at first. It's hard to explain why I was so drawn to it. I could hear snippets of some melody, maybe lyrics, but the signal was weak. So you turned it off and continued looking for the Alice broadcast. So I went out on my balcony and turned the antenna around until the signal came through clear. It now sounded more like music, with the odd signal in the background. When logic and proportion have fallen slumply dead, and the white knight is talking backwards, and the red queen's off with her head. Oh, so somebody's pirate radio broadcast of golden oldies. It felt like there was something else there, some message that the music was hiding. I know it sounded weird, and when I fell asleep... What a story. Hear me out. I dreamed, and I didn't know I was dreaming. Do you understand? It was entirely lucid, but like waking up in another world, except I didn't think of it as another world. Does this make any sense? You had a super lifelike dream where you didn't know you were dreaming, but you were still lucidly in control. Sounds pretty rad to me. I'm sure it would have been, except for the whole end of the world apocalypse bit in the dream. Okay, now you've got my attention. Interesting. Alright. So like I said, it was the end of the world. Everything I did that day felt like the real thing. Every smell, every sound, every color, every touch. It's important that you know that I wasn't acting like I would in a dream. I didn't know I was in a dream. Heavy. There was no warning, no build-up, nothing. Just between one moment and the next, the TV had turned to the emergency alert system, and this voice that sounded like it had been recorded in the 60s told us we were under attack. Were you alone? Yeah, I had a really long day at the office, so I had sworn off any social contact for the evening. I had the TV on in the background, just as noise. Wait, what? The office? You mean you've got some kind of real adult person job in this dream of yours? Yeah, actually, at the college student admissions office. Hey, don't sound so surprised. I am going to graduate in just a few months, you know. Uh-huh, with a BA in English Lit. Shut up. Such skill with words. Anyway, what happened next? Like I said, the TV suddenly turned to the emergency alert system, jacked the volume all the way up too. I didn't even know they could do that. The broadcast told us we were under attack right now, and that we needed to get to shelter. That we had less than 30 minutes before the bomb hit. Jesus, sounds scary. At first, I didn't want to believe it. I switched the channel, but they were all the same, and then the sirens started. Tornado sirens, flood sirens, I don't know. I know things were serious. And I knew things were serious. I like the drawings for Alice and for Hatter? Hatter? Mad H. Mad Hatter and Alice. It's one of my favorite stories. Anyway, Mad H says, so what do? Let's see, our options are, I went online to find out what was going on. I immediately tried to call Chess. I needed to think about my options. Let's call Chess. Chess? Who's that? My, boyfriend. I mean, I don't have a boyfriend, but in my dream I did. Wait up. Tell me more about this sudden new boyfriend of yours. I thought you weren't in the dating scene. Actually, I've been thinking about putting myself out there, like maybe some online dating or something, although I'm kind of afraid to check OkCupid right now. What if there's a guy there named Chess? Good icebreaker. Hi, I'm Alice. I dreamed about you last night. You were my end of the world buddy. Funny. Aren't I just? You were saying about Chess. What kind of a name is that anyway? I wasn't really. I mean, yeah, he was pretty hot, I guess, and smart, and into me. What more could you ask for? I can sense you're blushing all the way over here. Maybe I should check my OkCupid profile, actually. So, what did your boyfriend think? Well, first I tried calling him, but all I got was a pre-recorded network busy message, but the net still worked, so I hit him up there. I mean, we did most of our communication in chat anyway. And I found him, but there was no time for, well, anything. I started typing, holy hell, the fuck is going on, style stuff, and he just teasingly replied he had to go. That's a little blunt. He told me he needed to go get his sister. His sister? How come? He'd mentioned her a few times. She's disabled, but lives in a house by herself, out somewhere in the Bronx. Did he ask you to come too? He didn't ask. I did. I'm going to be outside my apartment in 5 minutes, he said, when I logged off. I guess that's an invitation of sorts, so what'd you do? Well, I knew that Chess wasn't going to wait for me. If I wanted to go with him, I had to go right away. Just grab my stuff and go. Making quick decisions in a spur of a moment doesn't sound like you. So, what'd you do? See, I went online to find out what was going on. I needed to think about my options. I went with Chess to help him with his sister. So I decided to go with Chess. I mean, how couldn't I? He's clearly needed help. Altruistic? How long had you been dating? Cynic. Long enough to know my feelings were real. I mean, they felt real in the dream. Where did the sister live again? In the Broad. Practically the suburbs. So, pretty far. Chess said he usually takes the subway or a bus. Chess actually lived just down the street, and we always had a customary place to meet. We didn't even need to confirm the place anymore, but it didn't seem very likely we would be able to catch a bus or a subway. So, how were you planning on getting to his sister? In less than 30 minutes. Oh, spoiler, the bombs didn't start dropping on us within 30 minutes. It took longer than that. They did start, though. That's lucky. Yeah, well, it didn't mean we weren't in a hurry. But you didn't leave empty-handed, though, right? Oh, right, yes. I grabbed the biggest bag I had. A backpack, people always called it magic. You could fit so much into it, bigger on the inside and all that. Okay, so I guess I get to pick what I take. I would take... I should probably take some food. Alright, I think we're gonna be good there. Go on. Rog, sister, bombs incoming. How did you plan to get there in the chaos? The chaos. Yeah, the streets were nuts. Everything and everyone was going crazy. Crashes everywhere, but no one was responding. The streets were completely gridlocked. I'm talking maybe 15 minutes after the first announcement here. All it takes is a few cars to go to the wrong place. But you live pretty centrally, right? It had to be better further out. Did Chess have a car? No. But if we wanted a car, there were tons around. People just left them, keys in the ignition, and ran. Holy shit. It really must have been bedlam. It was. I was so scared. So, steal a car or walk? We discussed walking. It was like 14 miles or something. It'd probably take at least 4 or 5 hours on a good day, and this wasn't a good day. Maybe a good start, though. Things might clear up outside the downtown area. You might be able to steal a car there. Appropriate. A car stealing sounds so criminal. Huh, whatever you say. Any other options except stealing? Appropriating a car and hoofing it? Something in between. I know a guy with a motorcycle. He really loves that motorcycle, but I wondered if maybe he'd be willing to borrow it. I mean, for fuck's sake, we were going to rescue a disabled woman. You know him well? Reasonably. I didn't know you knew how to drive a motorcycle. I am a woman of many talents. So, what did you do? We decided to try the acquaintance with the motorcycle. The motorcycle seemed like a good idea at the time, except that when we arrived at his building, the first thing I saw was him outside preparing his ride together with a group of similarly attired, similarly equipped motorcycle guys. Well, that didn't go well. So much for borrowing a motorcycle, then. He recognized me as I approached. He looked pretty distracted, packing up the saddlebags on the motorcycle with all kinds of things, but he stopped for a second to talk. Hello. I see you are making your escape. Would you happen to have a spare slot in your escape machine? He said he was headed towards the fallout shelter. When I asked him what he was talking about, he told me there's an old shelter down on 3rd, under the red bar. Your old hangout? That's, yeah. Your old hangout? What's the odds? Anyway, he said he could take me, but he knew the owner of the place. Sounds like a good alternative. What did you think? Well, Chess immediately said no thanks. He looked at me. What'd you tell him? Get the sister. So, no daring escape into the sunset with your on motorcycles with bombs going off behind you. What a pathetic excuse for a power fantasy this dream of yours is. I don't think it ever was a power fantasy, or necessarily fantasy at all. Anyway, I still had to make a choice, and I had already lost a lot of time. Walk past the worst. Try stealing a vehicle right away. Try my luck with the motorcycle man. Let's try it. We decided walking was the best option. The whole downtown area was gridlocked. Cars everywhere, people running down the sidewalks, and the sirens blaring. It was like one of those disaster movies. No hope for driving anywhere at any rate. But where was everyone going? Most of them were going home, I think. People were just in the wrong place at the wrong time. And there you were, running away from home. Once I made my decision, I stuck to it, no matter how much I was filled with doubt. Half an hour was nothing. Nothing at all, but luckily that estimate was completely wrong. Sometimes I walk half an hour in the wrong direction just because I stubbornly refuse to believe I'm lost. I didn't know what was right. I didn't know what was the right direction, but I did try to get there as fast as possible, although that was a lot harder than I thought it would be. I was swept up in a mass of people, and a man handed me the wrong direction more than once. Every few minutes I stopped to consult the map to make sure we were going in the right direction. Was there any danger, like people attacking each other or something? No, I thought we were all going in the same direction, but then I realized that the crowd was heading somewhere I hadn't planned to go. A subway station. What'd you do? I was swept along. It was that or get trampled and pinned against some wall. I finally managed to disentangle myself from the stalled mess of people just outside the entrance. Apparently, it was closed. The people were trying to break through the gates. By the time I was out, though, I had lost a lot of my time. Time, yes. Isn't that the thing you're fighting here? How far away were you planning on getting? Well, a lot further than I had gotten at that point. I could practically see my apartment building, but the crowd was slowly thinning at least, and I actually saw a vehicle in motion, an ambulance weaving between stalled cars, its sirens blaring. What do you do? I had planned to find and appropriate a car. I kept walking, although I started looking for shelter. Kept walking, intended to get away from danger before I had to stop walking. Find a car. I'm still not sure how you're aesthetically justifying this to yourself. I was scared out of my wits, and it seemed like a good idea at the time. Fair enough. So how did you go about it? I kind of just jumped into the first open door I found. Of course, there was no keys, because the driver still had it. He had just been on the other side of the car. Seeing me sitting there, he had a minor appropriate fit and ran at me, keys in hand. God damn it, Alice. I knew you weren't car thief material. I panicked when I saw him coming. I went for the door. He saw me do it. I tried to stop me, but in my squirrely state, I managed to close it in his face and then immediately lock it. Of course, he did have the key, but I managed to crawl out the passenger door before he got the door open again. Lucky, lucky. Hey, it was my first attempt at car theft, even if it didn't go very well. I am assuming you stopped after this. I sulked around for a bit longer, but I didn't dare try another car. The next guy might have a gun in hand, or not the keys. So finally I decided to stop wasting time and start walking. Shouldn't you be finding some kind of shelter? Yes, I was actively looking while walking. No, I still hoped we could get far enough away to be out of danger. I thought we were looking for Chaz's sister. Okay. Yes, I found myself looking over my shoulder all the time, as if the flash could come at any time. Aren't you supposed to look away from the flash? Well, yeah, but how could I not? Some warning, something. The sirens were pointless. Weren't they supposed to warn when the event was imminent? Now I'd been out for at least an hour and no bombs yet. I think I would have just stayed at home or done just about anything but head out into the open. You do that when you have a dream. You do that when you have this dream. I did what I did. So how long did you risk staying out? I asked Chuck what he thought. He just shook his head. He was going to keep going. I couldn't risk it. I demanded we stop and look for shelter. Chess's single-mindedness was what led me. I was pretty sure this was a monumental mistake and that we'd get caught outside and killed for sure, but I couldn't just leave him, so we kept walking. So how did that work for you? You think it was easy? People were driven out into the sidewalks and left their cars. Everything was a mess. I tried going down the main highway, but it proved pointless. I had to backtrack. I didn't say it was easy. Did you consider running? I half ran and jogged as much as I could, but it felt like being late for class. I got tired almost immediately, while the goal was still as far away as ever. Chess wouldn't go faster, but he slowed down. Chess wanted to go faster, but he slowed down when he saw I was struggling. The worried look in his face went nowhere, though. And? Well, I saw a streak above my head trailing a white cloud. What? You were outside when the bombs were falling? I don't know. I thought I'd have time to get away, but I've just wasted too much of it somehow. I was out on the street when the initial shockwave came. There was just no duck and cover could have saved any of us there from what I was out on the street when the initial shockwave came. There was just no duck and cover could have saved any of us there from that, I don't think. The next thing I know, I am showered in glass as every window above us shatters. Cars swerved off the road and crashed. Bedlam and light. Bright light. I tried to crawl out of the way when something hit me. Maybe a piece from a building, I don't know. I blacked out. You have a really fucked up imagination, Alice. It didn't feel like a dream. That's the thing, because you don't wake up in dreams, do you? But I did, bleeding alone out in the street. What did you see? I saw a burning city, ash ruined down, in downtown, far too close. A mushroom cloud starts just staring me in the face. It was the end of the world. I just knew there was that there and then. Jeez. And then there was a streak of light, and it was actually almost beautiful as it fell from space. Just a streak of light that only a slight angle. I just had time to think, no, we've had enough before it hit. For some reason, I elected to stare right at it when it impacted above the ground in a terrible fireball. Please tell me the dream ended here. Yeah, I didn't really see it though, but I died, eventually in the dark. And thus concluded my dream. Well, that was interesting. What do you think? I think it felt incomplete, like there was something missing. That wasn't the way it was supposed to end, you know. Dreams are supposed to end in certain ways. This one was, I think, it felt like it was trying to tell me something, but I wasn't listening closely enough. Maybe you can try again next night. See if you hear some recordings. Speak of it. Speak of what frequency was this on. What frequency was this on? That's the weird part. When I tried to see, I recognized I had hit the right channel and that it was in fact reading Alice in Wonderland. And this isn't exactly some obscure numbers station frequency on the AM band. Well, maybe you'll dream it next night again anyway. That's the good thing with dreams. You can always dream them again and maybe do something different the second time around. Interesting. Very, very interesting. And, oh, is that the end of it? Yeah, it looks like credits. Huh. So we got the better prepared achievement and the first step achievement. Cool. Alright, well this is going to take us back to the main menu, so I'm going to leave this video off here, guys. Don't forget to leave a like if you enjoyed, hit the subscribe button for more videos, and I think I might play this again, but with one of the other Alices. This is actually really interesting, and I really want to hear what the other stories were. Maybe leave a comment below, let me know what you think, if I should play another one, or not, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!